Train to the End of the World is a 12-episode absurdist anime whose plot is deceptively simple. A girl comes to Ikeburo, gets snagged at random by a tech mogul that goes by the name Poison Pontaro, and forced to push a magical 7G button that destroys reality as we know it. Thank God she probably wasn't vaccinated, or who knows what would have happened to her otherwise. What? We have a plot that begins with an introduction of Not 5G by Dick Dastardly. If the show is allowed to have that sort of humor, so do I. Anyhow, after 2 years of living in this topsy-turvy world after the pandemic, the friends of the aforementioned girl decide to board the train, go to Ikebura, and find the girl. Shenanigans ensue. The show then follows a pretty simple and predictable storyline of they come to a station, get involved in local shenanigans, save the day, and move on until a final climax occurs, after which they live happily ever after. And maybe that's because our borrowed isekai male protagonists are starting to bore me as of late, but I really enjoyed this series for its silly humor, the character dynamic, and most importantly, a subtle yet powerful ending message that changes the foundation of life, and though we can never fully revert our actions, we can learn from them and move on as better people. But I guess the biggest thing I liked about the show was that it wasn't feeling pretentious. A lot of the time, these sorts of animes are either too simple, relying on the silly imagery, or too hard, trying to give their silly imagery meaning that it really doesn't deserve. And while it is not immune to pretentiousness, the show really does feel more like a trip of 4 country bumpkins that are friends to a big city with all that it entails. Their journey doesn't really change them as people, but it reinforces their bonds in a manner that anyone who had a group of friends would find sort of believable, and most likely the character interaction is exactly why I've enjoyed this anime very much. That and the music, which, though it isn't really diverse, managed to set the tone just right. Bad, this wouldn't be me if I didn't list all the negatives of this show to the viewer. The graphics are nothing to write home about, they're on the better side of average, but average nonetheless. The biggest hurdle to your enjoyment of this series would be your tolerance to cute anime girls doing cute things. Animes like these live or die depending on whether or not you will like the character interaction, and if you don't like them, then not only this anime will have nothing to offer you, it will most likely bore you to sleep. My advice would be to watch until roughly episode 4. If by that time you won't feel it, skip it, as there is nothing this show can offer you that other older shows haven't done better. However, if you did like it, then what you'll get is a very confident and competent original anime that's worth a watch. Basically, it's a win-win for everyone. Joyous occasion!